Again, with the news happening right now south of the bay, and it is the big story of this day. We're finally seeing some traffic relief after a serious tanker accident. This happened on I-75 in Sarasota near Fruitville Road. The tanker lost control and veered across the median and 3 lanes of oncoming traffic before it hit a ditch. The good news: only 1 lane of northbound I-75 is still shut down. And tonight we have team coverage on this story, beginning with our Eagle Eye reporter Judd Chapin, who says traffic seems to be improving somewhat, but it looks slow right there, Judd.
Well, Keith, it is a little bit of a slowdown, and good afternoon, by the way. It's moving through. There's 2 lanes northbound and all 3 lanes southbound. It's backed up just a little bit. I wouldn't even call it a backup, just a slowdown. Everybody's getting through here. All the exit ramps are open, and people are moving just fine. It's not any real big problem. They're taking their time, and the surface roads are looking much better also. Keith?
Thank you, Judd. Our reporter John Rogers is on the ground. He has a look at what's happening right there. Is it any better on the ground from the air? There was a slowdown, Judd described.
Good evening, Keith. Take a look behind me. You can tell the tanker's already gone, but there's still a big mess to clean up. All this water here in this ditch is still filled with fuel, and they need to vacuum all this out. The fumes are still strong over here. The driver is currently listed in serious condition, and it's a wonder that no one was killed out here. This big mess created a traffic nightmare lasting the whole day. The Florida Highway Patrol got the call at around 5:40 this morning. This fuel tanker was driving south on I-75 from Tampa when it veered onto the median, crossed the opposite lanes, and slammed into this ditch.
We are not sure what caused him to cross over, and obviously we're going to be doing more interviews.
The driver, 71-year-old Thomas Gratton, was taken to a hospital in serious condition. Another motorist was also treated for minor injuries. Around 250 to 500 gallons of fuel spilled into the ditch, and fire crews used foam to suppress the fumes.
Because it landed in the ditch, it's floating on the surface. That's why we put the blanket over the top to keep it contained, so the vapors would not be a fire hazard for us.
Northbound lanes of I-75 were closed all day, and at around 3 p.m., the tanker was completely removed. Could the driver of the tanker face any charges?
It is possible. The investigation is ongoing. We need to find out what was the causation for him to cross over the median into oncoming traffic.
It could have been a lot worse. A Florida Highway Patrolman says if a car had crashed into the tanker, it could have sparked a terrible fire. Thankfully, that did not happen. Currently, environmental officials are here on scene, and they're going to take some soil samples to see if there are any harmful effects. Although they don't anticipate to see any, they think this was cleaned up fairly well. As Judd explained earlier, traffic seems to be going along nicely. Currently, there are 2 lanes of traffic open. We expect to have all lanes of traffic open by 8 o'clock, but for now, try to avoid this area. There's still a lot of congestion out here. Back to you.
John Rogers live in Sarasota. Thank you. The tanker involved is owned by Keenan Advantage Group. We researched this company, and according to the U.S. DOT, trucks operated by Keenan were involved in 4 fatal crashes within the past 2 years. There were also 37 crashes involving injuries in that same time period. So how big of a company is this anyway? Well, nearly 2,100 drivers were inspected in the past 24 months. The U.S. DOT gave Keenan a satisfactory rating.